Well, hello, everybody. My name is Susie Fox. Myself, along with Deanna Vigliotta, want to welcome you to Continence Chat. And we have a very special guest with us today. We would love for you to meet him and hear his stories. Deanna, would you like to introduce our guest?
I would love to, Susie. Thank you. To our viewers, I'm so proud to introduce Andrew Garnett. Andrew is the founder and the CEO of Special Needs Group and Special Needs at Sea. And Andrew, I know we have had a relationship with you and your company and your teammates for a few years now. Interestingly enough, I think back to all the big dreams when we first met of having Seni products on the cruise lines, in the stateroom cabins. I remember the excitement in the air, and then the pandemic happened, and we kind of put a lot of things on hold. But we're super excited to have a reset, and proud that you're here with us. Thank you for being here with us. And as a way of getting started, maybe you could just introduce yourself and a little bit about your background and your company.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me. And, everything sometimes happens by accident. You hear about the best things happen by accident. And I never intended to start this business, but a travel agent at that time, now they're called travel advisors, but the travel agent reached out to me and said, we have requests for the wheelchairs and the scooters and so on and so forth. Can you help us? And I had been downsized from a job, so I was having difficulty finding another one and said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I literally started in my bedroom and started making deliveries with my car, would fold the seats down and shove that wheelchair in there. And then things were going well, so I rented a storage unit. I would rent a van on busier days, and things kept going. So I purchased a vehicle, leased a warehouse, started hiring some staff. And again, things were going well. We were delivering in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And I said, I'll get up at 3 a.m. and drive from here in South Florida up to Port Canaveral, make deliveries to the ships, and drive across the state to Tampa the same morning. Wow. Make deliveries to the ships and come back. So now we are in 70 different countries in 217 different metropolitan areas. So in many ways, we are a medical equipment company, but we're more a logistics company than a medical equipment company in many ways, and including delivering Seni products.
Wow. That's awesome. I think your number of locations has grown even since you and I last spoke, but wow. Yeah. 70 different countries. Oh my. Yeah. And I'm just curious, before we get into Seni, just for my own personal knowledge, and I know Susie likes to travel as well, but what do you feel about the state of travel, especially cruise lines? Because I know a big part of your business is being able to take medical equipment, supplies, and oxygen and hospital beds and things like that for travelers that have special needs. Are we back to pre-COVID times, do you feel, or what's your pulse on that?
Yes, we're back. And during the pandemic, they sold a lot of ships or scrapped a lot of ships. But now they've come out with all these newer, bigger ships. Like we have here in Miami, the Icon of the Seas, which is the biggest cruise ship in the world. And we have so many deliveries on that ship, as well as the others. So yes, it's back. We're getting ready for the ships to migrate to the Alaska area for the Alaska season, as well as some ships to migrate from here to Europe. So bookings are booming. So wow. We're happy to say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as far as Seni products, I want the viewers to know, and not just Seni, but the different types of equipment that you deliver. So I want to make sure I have it right, and then please jump in. But so I know with Seni products that if I am going on a cruise, but I don't want to have the package the Seni products in my suitcase or taking up room on a carry-on, that you will deliver those directly to the cruise ships, and a person can get on the ship without that worry and have Seni products delivered to their cabins.
That's right. So they don't have to pay for an extra suitcase. They don't have to worry that that suitcase may disappear during the flight. So we will deliver directly to the vessel. And if somebody wants to order incontinence supplies from us, they may be using a different brand at home, but the only brand that we deliver is Seni. So what we will do is send them 2 samples or a couple of samples. So if they think they're a medium, we may send, based upon their height and weight, a medium and a large of a certain line that's comparable to what they're using. Or if they use Seni and they know exactly what they already use, then that's what we will deliver to the vessel for them.
Yeah, that's super important. I just think, you know, if someone's got to be confident at home, I would think first before they're going on out to sea and realizing I'm not taking products with me. I'm dependent that the products will be there and they'll fit and so forth. So I love that you're taking advantage of the product samples to get those into the hands of your customer. I think that's critical. As you're walking me more through this again, it's coming back to me of we're used to servicing a lot of skilled health and assisted living and so forth, but equally as important would be for your customers to feel confident that the products are going to work and they don't have to worry about that. So
yeah, I can imagine the stress if they'd never seen the product, tried the product, and just the anticipation of what will be there. But this way they have the peace of mind. And if we send them samples that don't work, maybe they choose a different line and we send the samples again. So it's better to try before you buy, kind of thing.
Yep. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. And what type of feedback do you hear about Seni products, Andrew, from your teammates or yourself in the field, or just in general?
People love it.
Oh,
so,
good.
I'll give you an example. There's a woman here locally that ordered it for her husband they went on a cruise, and she now comes to us monthly. I told her she should just do an auto program, but she's a procrastinator. So she always waits till the last minute and shows up here, but it's the product that she needs and we keep it on hand for her. And it's the best product for her husband. She loves it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Always good stories. So yeah. Susie, you look like you're going to jump in with something to say here.
Indeed. Andrew, if I were taking a loved one on a cruise, or even just thinking about it, how would I know that you exist? How would I know what you offer, and how would I find you? Is this something that travel agents or cruise people that book the cruises, would they guide me and lead me to you, or how would I find you if I had a need like that?
Okay, excellent question. So the cruise lines refer us directly. I always recommend that someone work with a travel advisor. In Canada, they're still called travel agents, but in the US, they're now called travel advisors. And we have a certification program that the travel advisors and agents go through online, and they get the designation of being a certified accessible travel advocate. And if you go to our website, you can search for them, or you can reach out to us. And based upon your local zip code, it will show the certified accessible travel advocates in your area to select. So these are folks that not only book travel, but they're interested in making sure that their customers who may have a special need are going to be better taken care of because they have that knowledge.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's critical. I know early on when you and I first met and one of your other teammates, I think we went out to lunch, and this story has always stuck with me. You had a person who was end of life, and they wanted to go on a cruise. I think it was the grandchildren, the great grandchildren, but the family, the extended family, their loved one had always wanted to travel. And I believe you were sharing with me that things I wouldn't have even thought of, that you had. Number one, it was a hospital bed going on the cruise. I wouldn't have thought of that. Then it was a special refrigerator because the medications for this person had to be stored at a certain thing. Oxygen, 6 cylinders, sticks in my mind, 6 cylinders. But just a host of things that has always stuck with me, that has helped me be a better resource for people knowing about you. But I think it's just amazing work that you do. And then the story goes with this person, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think she actually passed away during the excursion or shortly thereafter, but you guys got a note card that they said grandma or whoever it was, was so appreciative that you were able to accommodate all of those needs. I just think it's critical for people to know that it's not just Seni products or just an oxygen tank or just a scooter. It's all encompassing of the different needs that you can offer people. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we try to offer the whole package. We want to make it possible for anyone who wants to travel to be able to. And not only that it's possible, but to have a great time. So, that old thing, I'm going to show my age now, but you remember, is it live or is it Memorex?
Yes.
Live is always better. Okay.
Yes.
So we show people that they don't have to view it online or watch on television. They can actually be there. And the example story that you gave, person did pass away soon after their trip, but the family members were so appreciative because that person had always wanted to go on a cruise and just had never gotten around to it. And they were able to do it. And the family had such good memories because of it. And so that was a great thing. Definitely. And when I talk about the whole package, since we know travel advisors, they will make sure that it's the right itinerary for them. They get the right stateroom. For the equipment, yes, we do the oxygen equipment, hospital beds, patient lifts, lift chairs. Some people can't sleep lying down. They have to sleep inclined. So it's like a lazy boy chair. Really the whole gamut. And we tell folks, no matter how crazy it seems, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do. Yeah. And, we work it out. That's how the company grew. In fact, my staff gets upset with me because I yell at them and say, never say no. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, well, how do you think we grew? That first ship that was leaving Miami that was going to Barcelona, Spain, if we didn't say yes, then we wouldn't have found an agent in Barcelona, Spain. Yeah. So that's how we grew the company. Yeah. And that's how we've added new products like Seni.
Wow.
They could easily just say, no, we don't do incontinence supplies. Like, no, just say, we'll look into it for you. And that's how we've grown.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's the best way to be, explore it. You've always been open to exploring things. Yeah. How I'm just curious because I know you service a lot of folks that have special needs, and older adults would fall under that category too. But do you have a lot of children that you help out as well as older adults? Do your customer base go the gamut of all ages that you're providing services to?
We do, but honestly, not as many children, which is
Okay.
good, you know.
Yeah.
But we do carry pediatric equipment and supplies. I remember we provided oxygen equipment for an infant, and the liter flow has to be very low for the tiny nose and the tiny lungs. So we do the whole
Yeah.
gamut. But the majority of our customers are people who, if you asked if they had a special need or a disability, would say no. It's the folks that can't walk as far as they used to, can't stand as long. Maybe their bladders are giving out and they're afraid to go out, but showing, yes, you can go on this trip and enjoy. It doesn't matter if you need incontinence supplies because we have the best and it will be right there waiting for you. So
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. I know when I like to go on cruises, and now it's funny, you know how if you I don't know what the saying is, but if you are looking at a new car and you may not have been familiar with that particular brand, but then you buy that car or test drive it, you happen to see all of the cars now on the highway that are that particular brand that have suddenly come out of the woodwork, but you're just noticing. I feel that way. Once or twice a year, we're lucky enough to go on a cruise, but now I'll always say to my husband, "Oh, there's a special needs, wheelchair or whatever." I say, like, you
Right.
just notice it more and more. So, which is kind of cool, so.
Yeah, there was one time I got off the ship in Mexico. I was actually working, but I was off the ship and it was a port day. And I saw one of our wheelchairs, and it had come from a port that it's not Fort Lauderdale or Miami. So I was there looking at the wheelchair to see, okay, are they keeping the same standards that we do?
Yeah.
And some guy looked at me and says, "You're looking at that wheelchair like it's a Ferrari." So
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Where do you like to travel to, Andrew? I know you've romped all over the country and other parts of the world. Where's your favorite spot?
honestly, most of the places I've been, unfortunately, have been for work, and I didn't really explore and enjoy. But my favorite cruise was a transatlantic.
Mm,
We started in England and stopped in the Faroe Islands, then Iceland, and then ended up stopped in Canada and ended in Boston. Because I'm from South Florida, so when I go to the Caribbean, it's great, but it's kind of like I'm still home. It's
yeah.
very similar to Miami when you go to the Caribbean.
Yep. Yep. Got it. Got it. Got it. Great. Well, I don't know, anything else, Susie, that you want to ask or add, or Andrew, any other comments or anything that we can do better on our end to help you?
No, we just need to spread the word
Yeah.
and that's why we do that certification, because we were at trade shows for years and the travel advisors will come to us and say, "Oh, I want to get into this, but I don't know what to do." And I tell every person, ask if there's anyone in the party who has difficulty walking long distances, anybody that uses oxygen now, and I should add, anyone who uses incontinence supplies, because they're automatically assuming that these folks can't go.
Yeah.
So they're excluding them from the group, saying, "Oh no, Aunt Betty's too slow. We told her she can't keep up. If I got her a scooter, she'd be faster than you." Or post-pandemic, a lot of people think when they use oxygen that they can't travel anymore. And I say, Uncle Joe sleeps with oxygen. He can never travel again. Well, why can't he? We can deliver the oxygen concentrator right to the room. And now they're part of the group. And then you see the eyes light up. There's a light bulb, and they say, "Wait, you mean Uncle Joe can go on the trip?" "Yes." "Really?" "Oh, so then Aunt Betty and all these other people, their kids can come?" So it's the same thing with incontinence supplies. People think that they can't go out and enjoy anymore. And we're trying to change that. So whatever you can do to help us spread the word, I mean, that's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. You just triggered a story that I have actually about incontinence that ties with you, because I think they purchased them from you to bring them on a cruise. But it was a person in Massachusetts. Her mom lived in a senior living community or independent living in Florida. I'm not sure the part of Florida, but the daughter was flying down to pick the mom up to go on the cruise. The mom had incontinence challenges, not severe or heavy, actually kind of like moderate, light to moderate. But the daughter actually ended up ordering the products from you because she didn't want to take up the whole suitcase, and she didn't feel comfortable going through security with these light incontinence products, and she just wasn't comfortable. I was out of her comfort zone. So anyway, but I think they ordered them from you, and then she had to tell the mom, though, like, don't worry, they're going to be there. They're going to be there on the cruise. But then she went, it made her life easier because she just flew, picked up mom, and over they went to, I think it was Port Canaveral that they went to. So yeah, it's, you're right though, but more people need to, I love what you guys do. I think more people ought to know about you. It just, to me, is amazing. You're absolutely 100%. You just allow people to maintain their independence and to enjoy life. So cool.
That's kind of what I was going to jump in saying, Andrew, you're not only giving people the opportunity to travel, but you're giving them access to products, and it's not necessarily products they want, it's products they need. And I know when people have these physical challenges, oftentimes they feel like maybe they've lost control of their lives.
Right.
And there's, lots of emotions tied in with that. So you're actually giving people the gift of their independence. And hats off to you and your team. I think that's an amazing mission to have going on throughout the world. And I know we're excited to have met you and be encouraging all the wonderful things that you're doing. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you and your team, and know that we're always, as you do, we're a phone call away, anything we can do, but we'll continue to spread the word for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Thanks, Andrew.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.